Hi, Alexandre. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I'm Alice from Shanghai Observer.
Oh, lovely.
How did it feel to play Ravel in such a pouring rain?
I think the rain was the biggest nightmare, and at the same time, one of the best things we could ever hope.
Was there any panic moments that cameras didn't catch?
I felt like really a wet dog because for 20 minutes I was not playing. I was just sitting in the rain and looking. Yeah, sometimes jet lag is intense. I woke up like 10 minutes before going on the interview, so you're very elegant, but I'm like just quick, I have to go.
That's Paris style.
Yeah, a bit like negligé. Like you pretend you just woke up in your pajamas.
I think for artists, finding your own voice is quite important. How do you find your own voice?
I haven't figured it out, but you can't pretend to be somebody else also. I feel it's more about letting go, sort of more of all the other things. And at the end, what's left is, I think, yourself.
I've been to Paris for twice.
Yeah?
I really love this small cafeterias.
It's so small, Paris. It's like a medieval, it's just a small village. It is compared to huge thing like that. But still, I'm very impressed to find that it can still feel small and intimate in some places. Yeah.
I wonder, other than music, what kind of world do you want to explore?
I love cinema a lot, and I read a lot, and these are the also many, I mean, just arts in general, also paintings, and some things you can only express with visuals, some things you can only express by writing, and some in music. And so you know, it's like just the more arts you like, then know a bit, the more I feel you can express a bit of things, or emotionally you're connected to a lot of different things. And
has anyone told you that you a little bit look like the American actor Timothée Chalamet?
If you look at me now and look at Timothée, it's not at all the same. But yeah, in the past, yeah, especially when I was 18, yeah, we would really look alike. And but no, it changed. He went into the handsome movie way, and I went into the music ways.
Let's go back to the Olympic moment last summer. How did it feel to play Ravel in such a pouring rain?
I think the rain was the biggest nightmare, and at the same time, one of the best things we could ever hope. I feel that everybody then had a feeling of, okay, it's already bad. So there's no real, the pressure went away because there was the elements all around us. So it was just a matter of, okay, let's try and make the best out of it. And that was really good.
It seems you quite enjoyed the show.
Yeah, really. They wanted to use the whole Paris to make the show. There was a good mixture of a bit of French provocation, of also just sort of elegance and beauty in lots of places, of real communal moments and real fun. In the 20s, Paris was supposed to be the avant-garde capital. I feel that he managed to still convey this feeling that it can still be an avant-garde capital with a show like that.
Was there any panic moments that cameras didn't catch?
Oh, well, no, there was not on my part, because I mean, musicians' parts were much easier than dancers. Like, there was supposed to be a lot of things that couldn't manage to happen, and also cameras. I think they had the more panic moment because half of the cameras were soaked in rain, so they had to change, and not everything happened exactly like the plan. It was much more chaotic. But I remember the moment before going on this bridge. It was already pouring rain, and there were people with umbrellas around, but they were not allowed to go on the bridge. So 20 minutes before, they said you have to be down on the bridge. So I felt like really a wet dog because for 20 minutes I was not playing. I was just sitting in the rain and looking. But there's a sort of magic, and it's a unique a unique way to perform. It's something that we'll probably never do again, and to just have a few moments where you play, you see the boats going by, everything, you feel alone really in Paris, and which never happens, which is so crowded normally.
I really enjoyed your show, but at the same time, I was a little worried about the piano. How was it at the end?
They knew that on the day it was going to rain, and so no piano, it was not destroyed. They made sure really to keep it safe. Yeah.
So that performance went viral overnight. And did you expect the global attention like that?
No. I think a lot of parts of the ceremony went viral. What I liked about the ceremony is that it wasn't about people, the artists. It's not like just your show. Everybody felt part of a whole, and so I didn't feel it was just my name. I was just a sort of character, an actor, just on a performance. Like you see at theater, you see characters, you don't see real people. I was the pianist in the rain, and there was the metal band and Marie Antoinette and the singer on the boat, and it was like all these people. It was more about just what they represented and the image they showed. So I didn't feel it. It's not like it changed everything. It's more that it's just I know that this image stuck in a lot of people's minds, and that's important.
There have been like several turning points in your life: winning the Tchaikovsky competition and performing at the Olympics, which have more influence on you.
Oh, for sure, it was the Tchaikovsky, because it really was it was the first breakthrough that I had.
Первая премия и золотая медаль, first prize and the golden medal. Alexandre Kantorow, Франция. Alexandre Kantorow, France.
They are tricky because at the same time they can feel unfair, because music should not be about just who's better. It's very difficult for young musicians to just put all these hours, all this preparation, like a sports tournament, and arrive and just try and be seen by lots of people, and you feel that you're really put on the spot, but at the same time it's one of the most equal ways of being known, because no matter who you are and where you come from, you can enter a competition and you can actually show what you're worth. And I feel very, very lucky, because today it's really transformed. It really made it so that suddenly I had a lot of support. It's like a big window suddenly opens, and you have then the responsibility to make the best of it, but it's still a huge window, and there are a few competitions like that in the world.
Did you feel anxiety during the competition?
First round, yes. First round, a lot. Even after concerts, I thought that I would know a bit by experience what's it like to be on stage, so it would be the same. And still, I got carried away with the fact that suddenly I had just 30 minutes to prove, and that's it. And you had in 30 minutes to show in this first round who we were. And yeah, it was really stressful, and I was happy because then they still let me go through, and after that I really felt more and more comfortable in this hall, and could enjoy really seeing the pictures of all the people who really are legends, and Tchaikovsky, Rachmaninoff created works there, all the concerts, Glenn Gould, Van Cliburn, all the special things that you see on old archives, and suddenly you on this stage, and yeah, I could really enjoy it.
Last year you won the Gilmore Artist Award, and that I was really curious about that award, because it's decided by a secret jury, right? Did you ever suspect you were being evaluated by people?
Not at all. Not, of course. No, they are very well trained. They are taking even fake names sometimes and going in concert halls, so that not even people of the organization understand that, they are all from America and these guys. So maybe there's something going on. So sometimes they don't talk to each other. They pretend to not know each other and go into the halls. They are very theatrical. So they announced it in Italy. To me, there was Pierre, the director of the jury and of the Gilmour Award. He came to a concert to me in Italy, and there was only my agent that knew at the time, and so he wanted really the surprise. And Gilmour created this award, and the idea is every 5 years they try to find a pianist who's young enough in his career so that they will help him. They try to, it's not just here's your prize and that's it. It's really they want to follow you and accompany you, and the more they can and advise you, counsel you on a lot. And so, no, it's one of the best things a young musician could have.
So what did you have in mind, the music projects?
There's a lot of creations that I'm doing with modern composers. So there's a few pieces by, for example, Anders Hilborg, he's called, Kalevi Aho, they composed a few pieces for me. So that's a big part of what I want to use the money. Also, creating a music studio in Paris. I know, I have trouble with neighbors, and a lot of friends and a lot of people in Paris have troubles also to finding a place to work. And so it could be, I'm imagining a studio of music in Paris where I could practice. If I'm not there, people could also practice. And so, yeah, I think that's something valuable. Yeah.
You said winning the Tchaikovsky is like you are growing up. You become an adult. Yeah. So what changed exactly?
I think a sort of responsibility suddenly of before I was already very lucky compared to a lot of young pianists. I had a lot of concerts already in Europe, and I felt I was already supported. But you know, it was still very carefree. It was still young. It wasn't. There was no. I feel. Carrying the name of something. Then after the Tchaikovsky competition, you suddenly have the legacy of a whole history of pianists who quite are legendary and won this competition. And for a while you felt that, okay, they chose my name, so I've got the responsibility to show that they didn't choose the wrong person. So immediately afterwards there was a sense of, okay, this is important, but this is also something to carry. And afterwards, also there was the first moments of having to decide concerts 2 years in advance, being sure to make right decisions, try to be a bit more organized. Lots of things made it.
Does this way of life sometimes feel overwhelming to you?
And for, I think, most artists, winning a competition changes really your life, and we are never really prepared. And so you have to adjust and adapt on the spots. Now I feel after quite a few years, since it's already been, I think, 6 years, and slowly I'm starting to feel that, okay, I've done a big round. I've had the luck of playing with in lots of great halls with lots of great people. Suddenly now there's more of a calming moment where I'm lucky that I get to choose, and now is more of a moment where you decide who you are, and so you have I feel less pressure. And it's less chaotic, but now it's more of a question really of defining who you are, and that's an interesting moment. I didn't know it would happen, and it's.
So who you are?
I haven't figured it out, but no, it's more of a question of what do you want to show from you? What pieces do you want to play? What's recording wise, what do you want to leave to people? Composers do you want to discover or make people discover? And so this is all the questions, and I think I'm trying to get a bit more unity out of concerts, because for now it's still like you play different pieces all around, different concertos, different recitals, chamber music, and I wish that in the future they would be more united. Like some painters, they have a few years where they're really into this space and they are influenced by these things, and then they move on. And I feel that I should try and unite, so that in a year I can feel that I'm really delving into one repertoire, one aspect of music making, and then go on to the next 10.
I think for artists, finding your own voice is quite important. How do you find your own voice?
Well, what's terrible is, of course, you need to find your own voice, but you can't pretend to be somebody else also at the same time. So you just try and personify something that you like. It has to come from an instinct part of yourself at the same time. So finding your own voice, I feel, is more about letting go, sort of more of all the other things. And at the end, what's left is, I think, yourself. And so it's a lot about letting go of the fears in different parts of your life, letting go of the other factors, sort of also trusting much more your body, your instincts on the moment. And I think there you start when you really allow your natural process and your reflexes and your instinct to come into play. Then I think you hear the voice of the person.
You've been achieved a lot at a young age, but at the same time, classical music world is quite competitive. There are rising stars every year. Do you often feel like pressure, anxiety?
No, I think it's beautiful, honestly, to see this. We have to understand that in a way, classical music was never the most popular music. Even at the time where you would say that it was the only written music in the West, it was still something reserved only for elites, and most people, their music was not at all classical music. And today, I'm feeling, yes, it's still the case. It's not at all the most popular music, but it's, I don't know, lots of young people are attracted to, I don't know, a part of the world of classical music, or they see these young rising stars and they suddenly have, oh, okay, they are the same as us, and there's still an exciting time today. But so it's great that people are just out and playing, and they are making waves, and they're making people react to them. And lots of the question is about how do we keep the tradition alive, and how do we not destroy, because most composers we play, we are losing more and more the connection with them. Our composers who died at least 50 years ago. More and more, we don't know somebody who knew them, and so it's hard to have the thread where you would really know who they were. But still, I see a lot of care, and I see that most artists in classical music really take a lot of effort and time to make this music even still relevant and still interesting, and they manage to make it exciting today. And so I'm really happy. The more, the better. And what's difficult is, of course, the fact that culture and money, this is getting a bit less in a world where there's a lot of musicians. And so it's going to be more tricky, of course, in a way for people to be able to live with music as a career. But so, hopefully, I hope there will be much more rising stars coming in, because that's a proof that classical music is really alive.
You were born into a musical family. Your parents are both violinists, and your father is also conductor.
That's right, yes.
But in the beginning, they didn't put you into conservatory, right?
They put me in conservatory, but they didn't push me in any way to sort of, okay, you have to be a musician yourself. I think especially my dad, who was working enormous amounts, and I feel that he felt that it was a life of great joys, but of great sacrifices, and he didn't want to impose this on me. And so for a long time, I always had piano and I always had music in my life, and I always heard music and saw the friends of my family, and so there was always music. But I had this high school of music where everybody played music, and I think that was a defining moment where you have all your friends who did music. You had first concerts with high school orchestra, all these little moments that are first, and when you see and enter this world, you see if you like it or not. You like the adrenaline of going on stage or not. You have all this, and this is something that I really connected to, and then there was quite no turning back, and I'm really lucky, and I'm really happy that my past self chose to do music, because it's really for me the one of the best way to express what I have inside. And that's really special.
You're lucky to have such wonderful parents and such wonderful teacher. But for people, for young musicians, sometimes they lack resources. Do you have any advices for them?
It's difficult because I think the teacher is the most important, honestly. From all the people I've met, it's very important to find a teacher that's right for you. No matter where or how prestigious the school is, it's somebody that will guide you at the right time, and it makes a big difference. Lots of people in France, I know, stop music very early if they don't feel it, because they don't have a teacher that where it clicked. And so I think that's the only thing you can really trust. And then it's a matter of also, instinct is important, really. Instinct of choosing the pieces you want to play, no matter how logical the decisions are. Even small things, this piano, if you I like this piano, go play on it, and or I feel that this piece is right for me and I want to play it, go for it. And all these little things, I think they are important, because at least the mistakes you've made, they are your own and they are not somebody else's.
Have you ever made any mistakes that you regret?
Oh, lots, but a lot of mistakes. Well, for example, I think that I didn't play a lot of the famous repertoire for a while. Now I regret it, because I did the whole Saint-Saëns concertos, for example, and I don't regret, but in the sense that I'm happy that also it was a difference. But now I'm starting to learn lots of famous Prokofiev 3, Rachmaninoff 2nd Concerto, all these things that I think lots of people have very young, and I feel that I should have looked at them. I should have had them a little bit in the fingers, so that you as you grow older, I feel all the pieces you played young, they stay in you and they develop and they grow. So I'm a bit frustrated of not having done more of the big repertoire, and now I'm going at it, and I feel that it's from scratch and it's very young, and I feel like a 15-year-old kid that's learning his first Beethoven big sonatas.
You're still young. At your 20s, you have a long way to go. This time in Shanghai, you were playing Beethoven's concerto. Yeah. Why did you choose that?
The number 4th concerto is really unique in Beethoven, and it's a wonderful piece that is at the same time has the same ideals as Beethoven. Often it's this sort of huge struggle, and at the end is this sort of triumph of humanity and sort of faith in humans, and you go from darkness to light. So the piano has almost plays only sort of improvisations on the melodies of the orchestra. This real angelic care, and the music can go and reach the real limits of what's beautiful can mean at the time. And so you've got something very human inside a bubble of poetry and of romanticism, something that was really unusual at the time. And I think that's why it's so special, and even today, it has so much meaning.
How long does it take to prepare a concerto for you?
To learn a concerto can go quite quickly, but it's more afterwards where it's very hard. You never feel, I think, ready before you've played it. And so no matter how much time you have, you will always feel that you're not ready. Here, it's really still a classical way of talking, and so every note has to talk, but at the same time, there's so much poetry and so much romanticism that you have got to find the right timing, the right balance to make it emotional and without dropping. And I feel so, in a weird way, I feel emotionally I'm on a very tight rope, like you're walking really on a tight rope and around you is nothing and you have to find this. And so learning the notes was quick, but then it's really a question of understanding the acoustics you're in, choosing the piano, seeing how much you can adjust to and pedaling wise. And
except from working on your techniques, what else do you think that matters for you to play to like bring out the spirit of the concerto?
Quite infinite. I think, through careful logic and then a lot of yourself, because most composers, I feel, when you look at them and when you hear how they would play their pieces, you hear how drastically insane it could be. Beethoven, when he was described while playing, it was a monster of sound, of craziness, of ideas, of changing tempos. And so a lot of playing a piece is feeling the spirit of a work and mixing it with your own so that it makes it alive. And I think you have to have a part of yourself in it. Otherwise it's still not alive. It's still a sort of museum reconstruction. That's not the real thing. And so, you've got to take chances also. Just think, I believe in this and on the moment, or I feel that in this hall it should be played in this way, more slowly, more feelings, or more quick, more sharp. All this you have to also just take a leap of chance. And great pieces of music, they accept a lot of also different ways of playing. It's just of being consistent in your view also.